Hello, everyone. I'm Jesus, and welcome to the next episode of the Road to Old School at MTG. This is going to be a long video, so please keep that in mind. It will be a review, me reacting to a video of a match that I recently had for the Summer Derby Old School tournament. And I'm going against TwiddleVault, which is a deck that tends to be just takes very long to it can, right? Definitely can be explosive as well, but usually takes a while for that deck to operate and so forth. So it's going to be a long video, so I want to get straight to the reacting and watching the video of the match that I had with Phil. Really cool guy. After the match, we started talking about just other things, and which I'll make another video about. He inspired me to talk about different subjects in an upcoming video. So he has a really nice setup on his, he has a Twitch, I believe this is, yep. And then he gave me permission to, first he asked me permission to broadcast the match, stream the match. I agreed, but I also asked him if I could then react to the video, which he agreed back, right? So I thank him for that. So let's go straight into reacting to the video.
Six, seven.
I will keep.
So he has a really nice setup here. I really like it. In the future, I might have to do something similar as I, first of all, I gotta upgrade my computer. Just also some equipment things here and there. But really like the setup that he has here. Pretty cool.
Yes, me too. That seems like a definite keep.
He's on the left, I'm on the right.
All right, so I'll go.
He's updating.
Yep.
Left totals.
Underground C, pass.
Just the land from.
Draw. City of Brass. Mox Pearl. And then for 2 mana, taking 1 damage.
Yep.
Want to play a Howling Mine.
Okay.
And then I crack the Lotus for 3 blue.
Yep.
Use 2 of those for a Time Walk. And the last one for a Mana Vault.
Okay, you got it.
Okay. Then I pass to myself.
Yep, second turn.
Untap everything. Draw 2 cards.
Yep.
Play Tropical Island.
So here, right? So he had extremely explosive first turn. So I went first, just no draw, of course, just a land drop. So he drew a card. He did a time walk, but he did a Howling Mine before. So now this is his second turn in a row. He's drawing 2 more, so he's had the benefit of 3 draws, and of course a lot more mana. But now by his second turn, he has 6 mana available before I've even drawn 1 card, just so you guys can see how explosive this deck can be.
And a Mox Ruby. And then for
7 mana now.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana, I want to draw 5 cards.
Ooh. Yep, go for it.
I think this is the most insane start I had in this tournament.
So he just
1,
drew 5,
2,
he drew 2, so
So you did another City of Brass, right? So another damage.
Yes. So I'm at 18 now.
Yep.
So he's drawn 8 cards, basically over a brand new.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards in hand. Pass.
Right, so
End of your turn, I'll Ancestral myself.
Sure.
So definitely
1,
that's something for me.
3, untap, 2 draws.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So 11 cards in your hand now.
Yeah, gotta do a lot of stuff. I don't want to discard. First of all, Mox Sapphire. Yeah, okay, just planes. Tap everything for a Serendeep.
Yes.
7 cards in hand, pass.
Okay. I untap. I don't pay for the mana vault. Or do I? No, I don't. And I draw 2 cards.
Be a 17 then. We put at 19 by mistake.
And then I tap 2 for another holding mine.
Okay.
And then with 7 cards in my hand, I pass.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not at 17. Yep.
On tap, I take a damage, 19.
So he corrected his.
So 3 cards.
And he
1,
has
2,
actual
3.
people watching
Draw.
and commenting, but in his language, native language. Seems German.
Tap for 3.
Yes, go to 14.
Yep. Max Ruby. Drop a City of Brass.
So for me, I'm also being pretty explosive. Like first turn was nothing special, but second turn, dread the Mox, got actually my mistake. First turn I did get the Ancestral Recall, right before my second turn. Then second turn Mox, Serenity, third turn, another Mox, another land, attacking, and I have 5 available. I think he's gonna make a comment about that.
That's enough for Sarah Angel.
There it is. But I don't have Sarah Angels in this deck.
Yep, that's still the first game. We just started, actually.
White. Disenchant a Howling Mine.
Sure.
Let's see. And I take 1 damage, 1 white for a Savannah Lions. 6 cards pass.
Let me think about the Savannah Lions.
Yep.
I want to counterspell those.
Alright.
And then my turn, right?
Yep, go for it. 6 cards.
Untap, I draw 2 cards.
Yep.
I think this
Okay.
bottom
Damage
part
on the Mana Vault.
matches 1.
Yep, 1 damage from the Mana Vault. Tropical Island.
So this is from his end that I'm now watching now after the fact. Of course, from when we were actually playing, but I just saw my own screen from whereby. Right, so, and he has a setup where sometimes he's mute himself to me, to his opponent, and he talks to his chat, or I guess also makes comments about, the game and so forth, which is, I think, is a cool touch. So, if you see him kind of like talking randomly and whatnot, it's because of that.
Alright.
And then for 2 mana, I want to play a Chaos Orb.
Yep. Gonna.
Then for 1 mana, I want to activate the Chaos Orb.
Yep.
And flip onto your Serendipity.
Yep.
Okay, I use the City of Brass as a proxy.
Go for it.
Let's see if I hit it. Oh, not
got it.
very clean. I'm sorry for that, but it hit.
That's all that matters.
Still 2 mana left. And for those 2, taking 1 damage, going to 11, I play a Sylvan Library.
Why 11?
Yep. So for his deck, the main ways he can get his combo off is because it's not just a one-time combo, right? Like Urnam and Armageddon. You just need to have an Urnam and then Armageddon, and then that's it, right? And then you just battle it out from that point. So his deck, he has to continuously get more Twiddles, continuously get Time Vault because they usually get destroyed quick. So it's a long process of establishing that, and then him getting cards, drawing enough cards so that he can eventually recall, discard the ones he doesn't want, get back the ones he needs, like Twiddle, so he can keep on twiddling, keep on time vaulting. Time walk, well, time vault also. So he needs a lot of card draw. Every now and then he needs a burst of mana, which is why the mana vaults are there. And let's see, which other card I wanted to comment on. Oh yeah, the Simple Library. That one is super powerful because it adds whatever the Howling Mines add to the regular draw. So if he has one Howling Mine, he actually draws 4 cards and puts 2 of them back. So it makes the Sylvan Library a lot more powerful, and which once again makes him be able to get those important components to his deck quicker at the time that he needs it.
I have one City of. Did you miss a City of Brass activation, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Okay. All right. So I'll put it at 11. Like you said. Okay.
So yeah,
Yes.
just mentioning
And then
7. Okay.
I passed the turn.
I was off with the
All right.
getting his
Untap,
life.
No upkeep. 2 draws, right? Yeah.
Yes.
2 draws. How many cards in hand?
Oh, that's a evil question.
5.
5.
Okay.
So I'm trying to take away some of his
Alright.
pressure.
Tap blue.
Yep.
Blue. Burn deep.
Yes.
Please tap that now so I can do whatever I want.
City of Brass. Tap a city, 1 damage. 17. Chaos Sword pass. I
Yeah.
have 5 cards.
Okay. Then I untap, go to 10 because I lose life from the Mana Vault.
Yeah, I think that's what I forgot, the Mana Vault.
And then 1, 2, 3, 4 cards I'm looking at.
Yep.
Oh, and I've recently changed the way my camera is angled so that my opponent can see my hand, me holding the cards in my hand. Right, so I just had a talk with a previous opponent, and I usually have it set up like Phil does, right, with the camera straight up on the playmat and with almost nothing visible, on the margins. But after talking to another opponent, like he was, just mentioning, how he thinks some players might be cheating and so forth. Like not me specifically, right? He was just, we were just commenting on things, and then that made me think, because he had his setup like this where his hand was visible, and I'm like, you know what? I think he has a point there. Like, I wouldn't think about cheating, but nonetheless, right? So it's kind of like a courtesy to my opponent, kind of like give him an extra assurance that everything is legit, everything's on the up and up, of course, and that's a personal preference, right? So if you notice that change in how the angle of the cards of the playmat of my hands now visible, that's the reason why I did it on purpose, so that my hand is visible. And I think that's also a nice way to actually keep my opponent updated on my cards in hand, right? So previously, like Phil, I would have my hand out of view, so my opponent would constantly be asking me how many cards. But if you see this, like Maze, you can kind of see I can have 5, right? 2, 3, 4, 5 there. Right. So, I'm sure I'm still going to be, I will still be asked, to double check, but nonetheless, at least my opponent now can kind of have a ballpark figure of my hand. And so it kind of kills 2 birds with 1 stone. So far I'm liking the change, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be keeping it because it doesn't really detract anything, you can kind of see stuff here, the floor, my whatever this is, right? And then a little bit on the corners there. But and then Phil's is really cool, right? Like straight up, this is originally what I liked. But the benefits that I get out of having the camera angle like this, I think is worth the aesthetic loss. All right, back to the game.
Let's see which cards I don't need. Those are the top cards.
Just looking at his hand to tell which cards to put back. So he drew 4, and he only has to put 2 back because he draws 1 extra. But he still looks at 4 initially.
Oops.
Which is very powerful.
Take this one. And that one? No.
I see TwiddleVault on the top left.
I still don't know what you're going to do.
Yeah, those two.
Yeah, by this point,
Okay.
I haven't seen the time vault, so I'm still not sure what his game plan is.
Nah.
You know, like I'm pretty sure.
Tough decision.
I was
Careful
already,
with your hand. Be careful
I
with
was
your hand.
90% sure it was a TwiddleVault,
I
but
didn't say anything, but yeah.
nonetheless, it's still, I haven't seen the Twiddle yet, and I haven't seen the time vault. So,
I take those two in my hand, put those on
Yep.
top.
and there's been no creatures, so it's still a
and
little
then I play a Underground Sea
Mhm.
for 1 blue mana. I want to twiddle the mana vault.
Yep.
Phil really likes his altars, which is the topic
Then I
of
make
an upcoming video.
3 colorless
Mhm.
and a red. For 2 colorless, I want to play Howling Mine.
Yep.
Like those Holly Mines.
And then,
One colorless, one red left.
yep, for 3 mana, I want to play a Wheel of Fortune.
That's what I thought. Let's see. I don't have much. Remind me, Wheel of Fortune. We shuffle what?
We discard our hands and then draw 7 cards.
Oh, the discard hand. Yep.
So he did Wheel of Fortune, which is very advantageous to him. He only had 3 cards. And I have 5, so I'm only going to get 2 extra. Of course, I'm gonna see what I discard. Maybe I had good stuff, and then we're gonna see what he discarded. But still, since he knew he was gonna do that, assuming, right? Of course he knows, right? Like he drew it with the time with the Sylvan Library. Maybe he could have put back the stuff that he still wants in the deck. So actually, we discarded, and he's gonna draw them back anyway, right? So like he can. So there's several layers to the game planning that he can do there. I just caught this right now, so that's a pretty interesting thing that you can do with those big time twister Wheel of Fortune cards. So he's gonna get 4 in addition, 4 more than he had. Well, I'm just gonna get 2 more, right? So he's always drawing cards, getting a lot of value out of his things.
Alright, so yeah, it goes good.
Okay, I discard Time Twister, Sylvan Library, and Copy Artifact.
Yep. 3 swords, Juggernaut, and Balance.
Okay. Seems like
So-
you're only going to draw better cards now.
Yeah, so the Juggernaut is the only main one. The Balance is not a big deal because the card difference in hand wouldn't have impacted that much. Actually, by that point, I have more cards than him, right? So, and he has no creatures, so and a balance doesn't affect artifacts or enchantments. So and then I had 3 Swords to Plowshares. Those are useless cards against him, right? So I had a lot of cards in main deck that I had to sideboard out for game 2.
Yep.
1,
7,
2,
right?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes.
4, 5, 6, 7.
Yes, so the 2 cards that he put back from the Sylvan Library, now he's
Already
drawing them.
played a land.
So if he did it
2,
correctly,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
knowing what he was going to do ahead of time, he could have done that. Although he did discard a Time Twister.
I have to pass the turn to you.
Okay.
Which I'm surprised. That card could have been
Okay, so the
cards.
thing is, I drew a counterspell, but not anything that brings me forward mana-wise. I could have played the Time Twister, but I didn't want to because I forgot that Time Warp wasn't there.
16. I'm gonna Chaos Orb. Right now the Sylvan Library.
Yep,
My Serendip will be the Sylvan Library.
sure. Yes.
I recently
Alright.
had 2
Put
losses
the damage, yeah.
where I missed on the Chaos Orb, so I need to practice.
On tap,
So in hindsight,
One
this was a
damage
huge
one.
mistake because I had that mana available. So he drew cards several times, if I'm not mistaken. But nonetheless, I should have Chaos Orb his Sublime Library before his turn. Because once again, it just makes the card draws from the Holly Mines that much more effective, right? So, and then I ended up doing it anyway, right? So kind of like I was seeing what he would do, after the fact. But it's not worth it. For this, you got to be more proactive. So that was a big mistake on my part.
From upkeep.
Yep.
3 draws, correct?
Yes, like an ancestral recall.
Yep.
Okay, that was pretty good for
3
me
draws. Okay.
because now I don't have to worry about him destroying my Time Vault in response anymore, which I'm trying to cast next turn with a counterspell as a backup.
Yeah, you see, that's why he wants to draw a lot. That's why I haven't seen the Time Vault. He's waiting for the right combination of Time Vault and
first 3.
Yes, going to 7.
And for me, I haven't drawn,
2, 3, 4.
I haven't been very aggressive.
Armageddon.
Oh, okay. Trying to counterspell that.
Yep, you counterspell.
Cool.
So he's used the counterspell on that instead. He might still have more though.
I'll drop. Mishra's Factory.
Yes.
Take 1 damage. City of Brass. 7 alliance.
Yep.
4, 5, 6, 7 cards. I pass.
Okay. So if I don't win now, I'm dead. Take a damage from the Mana Vault.
Yep. Mana Vault. Yep.
And
So
then I
next
draw
turn I
3
do-
cards.
5. Well, with the. Yep, so he would be that next turn, assuming he doesn't destroy the creatures.
This isn't very good.
So that's what I needed more aggression. I just wasn't drawing those cards.
I play a Volcanic Island.
Mhm.
And then I have to think about what to do next.
So he needs to go off now, or have something that will stall out for another turn after that.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1 mana left. Have to calculate a little bit. So the thing is, I have the recall in my hand, but I'm looking for some way to have a counterspell back up. No, I don't need that. He doesn't have double blue. Oh, okay. I just do my thing then. Okay.
I could have
For 5 mana,
Yep.
I want to play a recall
For 2.
for 2. Yes.
Yep. Go ahead.
And I discard City of Brass and City of Brass and Mind Twist.
Okay.
And I take 2 cards. Those are Time Walk and Twiddle.
Okay.
So that's already 2
Those
turns there.
exiled.
Yep.
Extra.
And then I want to play Time Walk.
Yep. You took a damage. 5. Yep.
So he's gone all out.
Okay. Then it's my turn again. I untap, and I'm thinking about if I should untap the Mana Vault.
Mhm.
I should. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mana Vault and taps.
Does he know he's going to cast a...
I draw 3 cards.
Plus he has a 3 card draws.
Then I play Underground Sea.
So that's something I've learned about this deck. Like his previous turn, he recalled for 2 cards, and then he just after that he just cast the time walk, and then that's it. He didn't cast an additional thing. So that seems like like not such a big move, but because of the Haunting Minds, that just the fact that he just got an extra turn and he didn't really do anything else, that's still a big boost to him because he's still. So really, he got a time walk and an ancestral recall out of it because of the card draw from his next turn.
3 mana. No.
Yeah, that's not a good move.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 mana left. So
Unless he's avoiding taking damage. So you have to be patient.
Same thing as last turn.
Like
5 mana. I play a recall.
For 2.
3, 4, 5. What do you tap?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, okay, yes. Recall for 2. Okay, understood.
Yep. I'm taking.
Recall gets removed, so he puts it sideways.
Black Lotus. No, that doesn't feel right. Yeah, Black Lotus and Time Walk.
Yep.
Then I go to 4. I want to cast a Time Walk.
Yep.
Then I play Black Lotus. 3 blue. I play for 2 blue.
Watch out your hand. Watch out your hand.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I play a Time Vault. 1 blue left.
Yes.
And then I want to twiddle the Time Vault with the last blue.
Yes.
Okay. Then I untap it, tap it.
Yep.
Have 2 extra turns on the clock now.
Okay, you did time walk, right?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, yeah.
Then I go into my first extra turn. I untap the Mana Vault. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I draw 3 cards. 1, 2, 3.
So he's drawn like 9.
Wait, I did discard 2 cards last turn. Let me just
Oh yeah, he caught.
discard the
You recall back. Cards back.
Transmute Artifact and Library of Alexandria.
Okay. How many cards right now before you draw? Do you
3.
have? Okay, so now 6.
Yeah, I go to 6.
Right. Okay. So he caught it before he mixed in the new cards with the old cards, so no problem.
Tropical Island.
There's so many things happening, it's natural that
2
something
mana.
could be
Want to play a Regrowth
not, it's not it.
on my where is it? The Time Twister.
Okay.
Time Twister to my hand. And for 2 mana I play another Holding Mine. Then I go into my last extra turn and draw 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4.
If he had
an island and a Mox
library,
Sapphire
gone 6
for
and put
2 mana. I cast Demonic Tutor.
Yep, I see.
So this deck tends
And
to
I have 1, 2,
drop
3,
enough
4,
mana
5,
to
6, 7.
firebolt the opponent.
Yep.
Some other ones may have alternate wins, and
Take a card.
you could also deck somebody by making the opponent Brain Geyser.
And then for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I want to play a recall for 3.
3, 6, 7. Yep.
Okay, I discard Mana Short, Time Vault, and Fireball. Recall is exiled. And I take back Twiddle, Time Walk, and a Regrowth.
Yep.
Then I want to cast Twiddle to gain 1 extra turn.
Yep.
And another Twiddle to gain another extra turn. Not another Twiddle, the Time Walk.
Okay.
2 Time Walks on the clock,
Yes.
and then I untap.
So now another 4
Lot
cards
of mana.
drawn.
I untap the Mana Vault again. 1, 2, 3, and 4.
And I guess I didn't have any disenchantments or
And
anything from.
this one has only 1 counter on it. And I draw 4 cards.
So some
Play
people may
Tropical
have,
Island.
some players may have scooped by now, right? So I previously played against this deck before, through another opponent. And I, first of all, I like, I really like this deck. So I like seeing it in action, right? So that's why I tend to not scoop, because, I enjoy seeing it, in action, and also learning more about it. But also, I already had the experience just for me, just, wanting to learn about it more and, just toughing it out. There was a game where my opponent just fizzled out, right? So it's not 100% guarantee that, like it's a win, right? It's very likely a win, like probably like 95% a win, but it's possible, because right now he already has 3 recalls used, right? So assuming he has 4, he could do it once more. Plus his deck is getting very thin, so that's also something I kind of look at for maybe an opponent can deck himself. Highly unlikely, right? Because somebody who plays this kind of deck is the kind of person who's very analytical and good at keeping track of stuff, right? So, but nonetheless, it's has been known to happen, and like I said, the deck can fizzle out, just doesn't get what it needs right when it needs it. So that's why I'm still in it.
For 1 mana, Mana Vault. For 2 mana, Felwar Stone, which I put into my mana. Then I want to play another Twiddle. Putting another turn on the clock. And then for 2 mana, a Regrowth on the Twiddle, and Twiddle another extra turn.
Okay.
Okay. So then I untap. Another extra turn is then 3. Now I go to 2.
2.
I untap everything, draw 4 cards. Play an island.
Discussing the Felwar Stone.
Let me
Another
count my mana.
Vault, but he wants to
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Fireball
6,
for
7,
20.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's 20.
20 exactly.
Not quite enough yet.
So he still needs 1 more to cast the fireball. So,
you don't have the mana for a counterspell, so I can just do whatever I like. There's no way for me to get much more mana. You're at how many life?
14.
14. Oh, 14. Oh, that is enough. Okay, I didn't see that. Forgot to adjust that on my stream.
yeah. On mine, it was
1,
visible the whole time.
2, 3, 4, 5. I want to play a recall for 2 cards.
Yes.
And then I take...
That's the last recall.
Could have done that earlier then. A fireball and a regrowth.
Okay, now you got it.
Yeah, and then fireball for 15.
14. Yep.
Cool. Yeah, that's TwiddleVault.
Yeah. So, like he didn't keep track. I had my life visible there the whole time. Although I had him at 4. I think he has himself at 4 here too. He just didn't update his thing. So yeah, I think he could have won like maybe like 5 minutes earlier or something like that. He thought he had to go up to 20. Okay, so that was the first one. So let me skip ahead a little to the second game. And then we're just sideboarding here.
Start.
So, yep. Max Jet. Strip mine. Pass. 4 cards.
Okay. Draw. Volcanic Island. A Mox and pass.
Alright.
So more tame first turn,
Draw.
more normal first turn for him.
I sure hope he doesn't strip mine me.
Planes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Juggernaut.
Yeah, you got that.
Pass. 3 cards.
So
Okay.
second turn Juggernaut, that's
Knockout.
pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Play City of Brass. And then I play a Hymn to You. But worse.
Yep. For 2, right?
Yeah.
Alright. 1, 2, 3.
So only keep one.
This is 1. That's 3.
Okay, so 5. The number 3 survives. The rest is discarded. 1 and 2 is
Okay.
discarded.
Balance and disenchant.
Okay. And then I pass.
Alright. Untap. 1 draw. Well, attack for 5.
Yep, 14.
Yep. Mishra's Factory. Tap a white for the Flower Stone.
Yep,
White Knight.
sure.
I will strip your Flower Stone.
What? My volcanic? My...
Oh, my mistake. City of Brass. City of Brass.
Yeah, sure.
If I were still.
Pass. Show cards in hand.
Okay, then I draw a card, play
So I'm all in.
Volcanic Island, Soul Ring, and a Praying Geyser for 2.
Okay.
Pretty desperate here. Okay, interesting. Pass.
Untap.
Should have kept that hand.
1 draw. Okay, that is right. Activate 5, 7, 9.
Yeah, going down to 5.
Oof, not enough. Okay, tap, tap. Chaos Orb, pass.
Yeah, sure. Untap, draw a card. Land and GG. I can't do anything.
Yep, dang. Whoa.
That was way too fast. I was land and GG. I can't do anything.
Yep, dang.
So there. So he had. So if I was going slower, then this hand is actually, I was about to say decent, but it's actually not, because he has 2 recalls, but he doesn't have much in his graveyard, so there's not much to recall. The time vaults, but he doesn't have a twiddle, so they're not particularly useful at the moment. And then I'm not doing anything that's blue. That seems like a right elemental blast, right? So yeah, he couldn't do much there. So that's actually what I need to do for my end. But then now for going into the third game, for this deck, I have a transformational sideboard. So the deck has 3 modes. The first one is basically Bantamgeddon, green and blue. Although there's no Urnums, but there's my deck has Juggernauts. So it has things that have protection from black and artifact creatures, specifically because the second mode I can turn my deck into is an Abyss deck that I'll take out the Serendipity Freaks, I'll add in the Abyss, maybe some more control counter spells, and then the opponent casting anything that can die to the Abyss, that's that affects him, but it won't affect my creatures. My creatures that have White Knight, actually those right there, White Knight and Juggernauts wouldn't be affected by the Abyss, so I can turn the deck into that version. But I didn't choose that one, of course, because he has no creatures, right? Or maybe I may have, though, just because a lot of times TwiddleVault they may substitute sideboard Sir Angels. So I'm not sure if I did or not. But I definitely, on the third game, I changed the deck fully, or at least closely into the deck version. Not 100% the deck, of course, right? Because there's only 15 cards I'm sideboarding, right? I don't have enough cards to turn it straight into the deck. But basically, I turned it into a control match, a control deck, because I wanted him to react to this game, thinking I'm gonna have, he needs to put in swords and stuff like that. But I'm seeing now that TwiddleVault really doesn't do that. So it was a big mistake for me for the third game to switch to control, because this game, the second game, I won it super quick. It was less than 5 minutes of the game by being aggressive, right? So I could have still maybe put in some counter spells here and there, but not at the cost of taking out creatures. I shouldn't have taken out creatures. I shouldn't have switched it to the deck and made it like control heavy, right? And you guys are going to see the results of that. So let me go into game 3.
Yeah, let's try this. 2 cards back.
So yeah,
and then I start by playing
mulligan twice, and he's going
Underground Sea, Mox Pearl, Howling Mine, pass.
Whoa. Still explosive, kinda. 2 draws.
Yep.
Let's see. I'm the opposite. This one is very slow too.
Okay, I need the Howling Mine to at least give me 2 cards more.
Tundra.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mox Disenchant.
Yeah, can't cast anything, so I'll discard a tome.
Okay.
Pass.
Yeah, you see,
Untap, draw
I'm
2.
slow,
Yep.
and I didn't get any Moxes.
Play an island, and for 3 mana I try to get rid of the card disadvantage I have. Time Twister.
Nice. Yep, go for it. Yep. So remind me again,
We
we
just
drop our hands and graveyard, right?
Yep. So the tome goes there too.
Okay. Yeah. But we don't reveal our hands for this one, right?
No.
Okay.
All right. So then he got a big boost there because I think he had like 1 card in hand.
I'm trying to keep it English today because Jesus wants to
Last hand was not the best one.
upload the video on his YouTube channel.
Thank you, Phil. Of course, he still needed to talk to me in English, right? But still, his
Okay. So
his
that went
ears
from
are in his native
an
language.
okay start to a pretty good one. Let's see what the Time Twister brings us.
So he couldn't have asked for a better card. That's even better than.
2, 2, 4.
Well, actually, I guess it would have been the same effect, either that or the
4, 7. Still my turn. 2,
Wheel of
3,
Fortune.
4, 5, 6, 7. But I pass.
All right.
So now he no longer has that disadvantage
2 draws.
Okay.
of having to mulligan twice, right? So he's back to 7 cards.
Tundra, and he discarded a Jade Tome because he drew 2 cards in the first turn with the Holding Mine.
Mishra's Mox Emerald, tap. Power Stone, tap, white.
Yes.
Disenchant the Holding Mine.
Makes sense.
1, 2, 3, 5 cards pass.
Okay, I untap, draw a card.
He already drew 7. He has 8 cards now.
Tropical Island, Soul Ring, and then what? Five cards in your hand. Right? Yeah, okay.
Me, yes. Oh my, sorry, yes.
Okay.
I thought he was talking to himself.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then for 5 mana, I play a Mind Twist for 4.
You already tapped for the Soul Ring.
I did, but this is still 5.
Let me see.
Like,
That's
I tapped the
for
island.
4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
But you need 1 to cast the spell.
Ah, yeah. The Mind Twist is for 4 cards, but I play.
Okay.
I pay 5 mana.
Okay, understood.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. When you say 5, I thought you meant it for 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did say for 4, but I heard 5 from my side.
So I keep only 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 1. That's 5.
Okay. You're keeping number 3.
So I keep this one.
I
will
discard the
reveal
rest.
Yep. Demonic, Mishra's, Bring Guys. Ooh, that's the one I wanted.
That's nice. Oh,
yeah.
that's also pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that one.
I had the components to
Yeah. So
really wreck him.
I have 5 cards in my hand, and I pass the turn.
That's very lucky he got the Time Twister. So
When
he
you draw-
used his
Hi,
hand,
Kaitas 1990. We are playing old school.
but then he got the Mind Twist taking out
Which
my
is a
hand.
format where only cards from 93 and 94 are allowed.
Underground Sea, activate and attack for 2.
Yes, going to 18.
Pass, 1 card in hand.
Okay.
He's updating the the
Just
game's
let
one.
me just update the score on the stream. Okay. 1, 2. I draw 1 card. Only 1. Feels weird. Tropical Island.
Mhm.
So there's 7 mana
And then
available.
for 2 mana, giving you some extra cards. Holding Mine.
Mm.
1, 2, 3, 4. Pass.
And I guess it didn't have a Carnage
Alright.
spell.
Untap, 1, 2.
Yep.
Mm. White and blue, white, disenchant the Holding Mine.
Counterspell the Disenchant.
Alright. Activate and attack for 2.
16.
Yep, pass. 2 cards in hand.
Yep.
So I'm not getting that many creatures. I still
I
kept
untap, draw 2 cards.
I still kept the actually I may have taken out the White Knights. I still kept the Juggernauts. But I definitely took out the Serendipity Fruits. I shouldn't have taken out any creatures. If I could, I would add some. But
Interesting.
that's the
Yeah, nothing, and pass.
Tap.
Right, so he
1,
drew 7.
2.
He made me discard,
Max
right, but he's not
Sapphire.
getting the components that he needs. But also, I'm letting him off the hook. I'm not casting creatures.
One, two, three, 4. Juggernaut.
Yes.
No attacks. White, colorless. Disenchant the Holly Mine.
Yep, now it's gone.
1 card in hand. Pass.
Okay.
So I wanted to
And draw
cast
one
the
card.
Juggernaut in case he wanted to
Play
counterspell,
Volcanic Island.
and then he did it. So I'm like,
One
okay,
card
he
in
probably
hand,
doesn't
sorry.
have one.
Mm,
Disenchanted the Holly Mine. So I'm doing the right things here, and I finally have a creature.
1, 2, 3, 4.
But he has a lot of mana,
Fireball the Juggernaut.
Ooh, yep. You got it.
right? So he used it for him to.
And
It
then
says
for
win con
2
on it.
mana, regrowth.
Oof.
And I'm getting back a counterspell.
Ooh, nice.
Okay.
Pass.
He didn't have much to. Actually, could have also time to.
How many cards in hand?
4.
Yeah.
1 draw.
But I guess he doesn't want me to get me to have more cards. So I see that. So he probably had
Attack
the.
for 2.
14.
So he has the components that he wants to protect in his hand already. Most likely,
Checking my grave.
or at least he's like 1 off. I already did 3 disenchants. I think 1, 2. Yeah. On where is it? Yeah, 3.
Pass. 2 cards.
Okay. Untap. Draw.
Mm-hmm.
Mox Pearl.
I should be casting a creature every turn, at least 1. And I'm not.
3, 4. Time Vault.
Yep.
Pass.
So you see, there.
Tap. 1 draw.
If I disenchanted it, he had that backup. But he can also use the counter spells against the creatures that I cast.
Hi Kaitas, wenn die Frage an mich gerichtet war.
So if I had dropped in lower,
Ja, bin ich.
he would have used
Aber
it.
ich nutze meinen Twitch-Channel
You would've
jetzt nicht,
used it
um
for
Werbung
that
zu machen oder
instead,
so.
right? But-
Deswegen bleibe ich erstmal bei dem Spiel.
Recall for 2.
So I'm trying to recall. I only have 1 though.
For 2. So you want to discard your whole hand?
Yep.
So he has a counter spell. I mean, we know he has a counter spell. Blue Elemental Blast.
Red Blast.
Oh, I mean, red Elemental. Alright.
Weil das Deck, was ich spiele, braucht ein bisschen Konzentration. Ich bleibe erstmal
Pass.
dabei.
2 cards.
Okay. You may have another turn. I skip my turn.
Okay. Understood.
So he doesn't twiddle it. But I'm like,
1 draw.
even if I cast a creature, right? It's, I can't attack him for the same turn. And he's still at 14.
How many cards in hand?
2.
Okay.
But he already has the the Time Vault, and a counter spell to protect it. So, and he's gonna get another turn automatically because it's already untapped.
Mind Twist for 2.
Ooh.
Counterspell.
He has the counter spell.
Okay.
Yeah, I was hopeful. He has something else that he's trying to protect.
Mishra's attack for 2.
12.
But still, that's not
Pass. 2 cards.
the best time to do it.
Okay.
It was more like probably didn't have anything better to do.
Untap.
Yep.
Draw 1 card. 1, 2, 3. Recall for 1.
Yep.
Discarding Mox Sapphire. Taking Time Twister.
Woohoo.
Yeah, it seems we gain back our cards. I discard the Mox Sapphire and exile the recall just so I don't.
How did time twist? Oh, you did it. It doesn't get removed. Oh no, you're right. It doesn't get removed from good. Yeah, stays.
Yeah.
And then for 1, 2.
So he already did Time Twister. So
3.
this is not the second time he's gonna do it.
Yeah, I cast the Time Twister.
Yep. So graveyard and hand into the library, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And so we don't have to reveal hands.
Yeah, you were fizzling out there, like.
Yeah, you see.
One card, like, ooh.
Yeah, and I only have 1 mana open, but that's not enough.
But I
for
have
this
an extra
enchantment.
turn on the clock, which is pretty nice.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, exactly. After the 7. Yep, that's a good time to take it.
Yep, he's gonna most likely take it right now. He's exactly extra turn. Honestly, he could
But
just
after
let me
that, I
go.
feel like I'm dead, so I think I need to win now.
No, he has time because he's only at 12.
Let's see what we get.
Oh,
Because I didn't put enough pressure on him. But either way, I mean, if you can win it now, you win it now.
so that's that one.
So now I know.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And Phil, let me know, right? The best thing to do is make your deck more aggressive against him,
1,
especially
2,
on the
3.
first.
I shuffled in the Time Twister, as I usually do. Let me just get that out of the deck and then draw 7 cards.
Yeah, so he put the Time Twister back in by mistake. So the Time Twister doesn't get shuffled back in. So everything else, the graveyard and the hand gets shuffled back in, and then Time Twister goes into the graveyard.
Okay, so
it becomes the only thing in the graveyard.
everyone on top.
The recall that he has there
Another
is
7.
exiled.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I go into my extra turn.
Yep.
Yeah, so he uses the extra turn.
So no, I put the extra turn on the stack,
Yeah, yeah.
and then
Yeah. You still your turn.
I play Mana Vault for 1 mana.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, he wants to set himself up for his next turn, casting as much as he can now. Because he's just gonna untap
And
everything.
I bounce your artifacts with Harky's Recall.
Ooh. Yep.
Now I go into my next turn.
That could have been a good card against
Go to
him
the
also
clock,
for me to cast.
and I draw 1 card. Play Volcanic Island. I feel like a terrible person, but how many cards in your hand now? 10, right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes.
Yeah, he's good at keeping track.
9, 10, and then I play a Mox Sapphire. 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Discard your entire hand.
Yep, you got it. Let me see. 3 lands.
Yeah.
Brain Guidance or Counter Spell, and I had another Power and the Tome.
Okay.
So those
When
are
I play a Black
components
Lotus,
for the deck.
2 cards in hand. We're kind of at the same point we were before. Pass.
Yeah, so this is the second time he
1 draw.
mind twisted me.
He's
In the
still
same
got a
game.
clock, and I don't have a combo piece.
Attack for 2.
Yeah, I go to 10.
Pass 1 card.
So yeah, not much to do.
The really brain guys are right now.
So he has not much. He's not drawing
Draw cards.
cards because of the
There's no brain guys are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I was mentioning, yeah, that the time twist. I mean, mind twist
Did I
twice.
play that?
He time twisted twice.
I don't think so.
Play Sea of Brass.
Yeah, I don't think he did a land yet.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, 17, 18. You're still at 20. And I don't have a fireball.
So he still wants to know how short he is.
Pass the turn.
But you don't. He doesn't necessarily need to shoot me
Untap,
for 20 one
one
shot.
draw.
If he has a recall,
Oh,
he can do for a lot, recall it back,
two.
and
Go to
do for the remainder. The
Just the
following turn.
Pass one card.
So once again, I just
Untap the
attack.
Time Vault, you get an extra turn.
Ooh, alright. Untap,
Ooh,
one draw.
my screen froze there. So here I drew again. I untapped. He's at 8. Yeah, sometimes that happens.
Chaos Orb. Yeah, good card.
Alright. Attack for 2.
So I must have dropped the
Go
land.
to 6.
I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will.
So yeah, I dropped the. I didn't drop another land. I just dropped the.
I'll Chaos Orb your. Tap 1. Your Time Ball.
Okay, respawn's taking an extra turn.
Yep.
Right.
This is your Time Vault.
Yeah, so I can't avoid him taking a turn, but I can avoid him having it, so he can. I think I'm missing this one.
Yep.
Oh, I got it.
Yes.
That was good.
Pass one card.
So that's still a good.
Okay. Going into my extra turn. Draw a card.
Normal. Yep, normal turn.
Yep. And then I play for 2 mana. No, yeah, for 2 mana a transmute artifact.
Ooh.
What's? Oh, okay. You sacrifice artifact, right?
Yeah, but I have to think about what I want to get.
So there's some mentioning derby.
So there are 2 ways to go about this. First thing is I could just get a Chaos Orb and hope you don't draw any threat until I win. Or I could just take a Holding Mine and risk that I'm dead in a few turns. Question is if how much do I think will the cards in my hand work for me with the how much do I think that you won't win in the next turns with your top deck?
I don't have direct damage.
I mean, I have enough to cast stuff, yeah, no matter what.
Yeah, you have 4 mana for like a Juggernaut, but you can't play the White Knight.
True.
You could play the Serendip, you could play the Savannah Lions. If you draw those, I'm dead. And it would be a little bit faster for me if I took the Howling Mine. On the other hand, if the Howling Mine doesn't get me anything and gets you a Savannah Lion, I'm dead 1 turn earlier. But I also draw first with the Howling Mine because I have another extra turn.
Yep, true.
So, okay, so my experience in this derby was that whenever I went for the safe road, it didn't work. So,
Holding Mine then?
I think Holding Mine it is.
Alright.
Yeah,
What do you
Mine.
sacrifice?
Oh yeah, sorry. That's an important part. And I also have to pay. I pay 2 and I sacrifice the Mox Pearl.
Okay. Yep. Oh, you gotta pay the casting cost of the thing? Okay.
Yes. No, the casting cost minus the cost of the sacrificed artifact, which is 0 in this case.
Okay, sorry. If it was something else, it could have been free. Okay.
Okay, but I mean, if I'm taking the risky route, I'm taking the card I like the most, which is the blue blueprint.
Yeah,
holding
nice.
mine.
Yeah, really cool.
So
And this is on altars.
let's see.
So he knows he has an extra turn after this, so doesn't have to do anything.
Yeah, I think there's too many. There are too many threats in your deck, so which my deck can't
Yeah.
handle. So
Yeah.
At the
yeah,
moment,
holding
Yeah,
mine.
yeah.
you see he's doing
Yeah, do
this.
your thing, yeah. Not worry about mine.
He's just thinking I haven't drawn it yet.
Okay, so
But actually, I changed my deck up considerably. But I shouldn't have.
untap.
Yep. So your next turn.
Yes, last turn.
Okay. Yep.
Draw 2. Shit. Well, what the okay. Yeah, pass. But if those would have been the top cards, there's no holding
I
one
draw
would be bad either.
two.
Yeah,
Well, I got crappy ones too, so don't feel bad.
okay. But I'm dead in
Yeah.
3 turns, so.
Yeah, well, you can go off very early, very soon. So I don't feel too bad. So attack for 2. Max.
Yeah,
If I had a Juggernaut,
Yep, that's it. 2 cards pass.
okay.
I think he wins it in this
Draw.
one.
Draw.
This is way better.
No, actually, I think he.
Yeah, you see.
Still. I play the Soul Ring. I play with the Soul Ring a Time Vault,
Yep.
which I can't use the way I did before.
Yeah,
Then I
yeah,
play a
for sure.
Sylvan Library,
Okay.
That's good.
and I pass.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right. You have to win next one then. 1, 2. 2 goes, right?
Yes.
Yeah, keep losing track.
Yeah, you see. So this is how the deck can fizzle.
Yeah, not much.
If he didn't draw what he drew
Attack for 2.
in the next coming,
Sure.
he would have been dead.
2, 3, 4. Redundancy. Let's see. Juggernaut.
Okay.
So just so he has 2 threats. to
3
deal
cards
with.
pass.
Either one of
Cool.
those can
So
kill him.
you're tapped out, and I don't have to
No, yeah.
mute myself when I talk to the people on the stream because now everything is open. So the
This
thing
all-
is,
yep.
my outs are Harkley's Recall, Regrowth, Recall, Twiddle to get me to the things I just said, and what else? I think that's it. I have some outs, and I'm really nervous right now. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes. Yep. Silver Library. Yep.
No, 5. No, 4. 4. Yeah, right. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, this
Let's
is
try your
really-
hand.
Yeah, I mean,
No, but still.
okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
So that 7 is
10, 11, 12, 18.
good there.
18 mana.
And I've seen other TwiddleVault players abuse the Zone Library.
So I'm definitely getting this one.
They'll pay 8 life easily. So
You're
that
not at 19, right?
the next 3 cards
I'm at 20.
are different.
And didn't guys Serendipity or anything now.
He never did that.
Just-
Or see the rest, yeah.
So it was a
Maybe
bit more
just
conservative
count
with
again.
it. But I guess he didn't need
4,
to.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 plus 6 is 18.
So you've seen.
So pretty short.
But every time he recycles the cards in
Cards.
with Time Twister,
Those stay on
Yep.
top.
Those are 2 draws, alright?
he still has the artifacts and lands that he's played. So the deck
Island.
tends to only be spells.
And
So that's how he keeps on getting those twiddles. Keeps on getting the recalls again.
I don't have a means of getting an extra turn.
Well, the recall that gets removed actually, but you know he can get the ones he hasn't drawn yet because it mixes up. He shuffles his deck again.
Hercules is a sorcerer.
You know it's an instant, so I could in your attack just bounce your artifacts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
that
that
would also mean that I'm giving you 2 more cards with which you can just win, maybe, by countering something of my things. I mean, the real risk is only counterspell. Maybe I can deal with that.
So he's starting himself if he can go off yet.
How many disenchants are in your graveyard?
Zero.
Okay, so you
From
could
the-
also get a disenchant then. Mm,
Yeah, because he put him back in my library.
so I have two options. I either take the Time Twister, twister everything, and hope to win, or I take just one more turn against you. I could get there and leave you with no artifacts.
Yeah, but he's
And
afraid.
then you might find a
Counterspell.
counter spell, which would be bad.
Yeah, he
or
only
a
has
disenchant, which would be as bad.
because he wants to protect his time vault.
But that would provide more safety. Yeah, I'm doing that. 1, 2, 3. I mean, no. You're tapped out. I have the time vault. I think I have to go the more risky route now. 3 mana. 3 mana. Recall.
Whoa.
Getting a Time Twister. Discarding a City of Brass.
Mhm.
And then for 3 mana,
Ooh.
I'm just
Oh,
gonna Time Twister.
all right.
Yeah.
Are you sure? All right.
Okay. Oh, this isn't my graveyard. Those are my lands. Sorry.
Okay.
The last 2 cards I had were Red Blast
Yeah.
and a Void Fate. So I
So
Could
we're
have-
good. Shuffling.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I could have gotten there. I could maybe have had 1 or 2 more turns, but I think that would have been too risky.
Let's see.
Well, he's going to draw 7 cards, and he still has a lot of mana because he used the
I
Black
forgot
Lotus.
to
And he
take the Twister
Yep,
again.
I just noticed he forgot the twister. So he has 3 recalls that he seems like, yeah. Oh no,
Yeah,
2.
it's the land, please.
So he only used 3 mana. Everything else
Also
is on
tapped,
tap.
paid the Twister with the Lotus.
Yep.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's good to pay with the Lotus because it's just going to get shuffled back anyway. Actually, this is like the second time he's cast this Lotus twice in this game. All right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, let's see if I'm playing Fizzleboard or TwiddleVault. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7.
All right. So that's a lot of new cards. And he already has a time vault there. So
Okay.
it's not hard at all to to
2 mana,
get the combo going.
Demonic Tutor.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Yes. I play Twiddle.
Mhm.
1 extra turn on the clock. And Howling Mine, green and pink.
1, 2,
1,
3,
2, 3,
4.
4.
Yep.
Yes.
He's
And
gonna
then
get another
my
turn.
Next extra turn.
Okay.
So that's 3.
And whenever I start the combo, I start putting my lands all in one place. So I look at the top 3,
5 cards.
4, 5, 6 cards of my library.
Yes. Yeah, 3.
4. Yeah,
This is
imagine.
my hand.
He looks at the top 6.
Yep, you're good.
Yeah, so he's
I've
keeping it
put
separate
2
so
cards
that
back.
I can see he's not mixing it up.
Those are pretty obvious.
So I appreciate that.
Those 2.
Okay, so he put his 2
And
back.
I play Mox Pearl,
I kept
Mox Jet.
the best 4
Like
out of those
Lotus?
6. Next turn, same thing. He's gonna keep the best 4 out of those 6. So he just needs to go off, and you don't necessarily need to have all the components. Just 1 twiddle is enough, because then you're gonna draw a lot next turn, and you could draw into another twiddle or draw into a regrowth again, which will give you the twiddle again, grow into a recall, right? So there's a lot of recycling. That's how you can keep on getting those things you need, because either you draw into it or you draw into something that will
1, 2, 3, 4.
get it back
1, 2, 3,
again.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
That's the 3rd time he's cast that
No, that
Black
doesn't
Lotus, if
go.
I'm not mistaken. But he needs it so that he can fireball me soon.
1 mana, 2 mana.
So asking about the soaring. I don't think he
I'm
cast anything.
sorry
did
for
he?
playing this so slow.
No. Okay.
Yeah, tell him no. I enjoy seeing it in action.
So I have
He twiddled.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 mana. Still 3 left. Yeah, I think I should do this. I play Hercules Recall on you.
Mm-hmm.
He might. Is he gonna?
2 mana,
I mean, he can't mind twist me.
3 mana. But I tap it like this.
Okay, 2.
And then 2 blue, plus 1 colorless. Sacrifice the mana vault.
Ooh, that's nice.
Mhm.
Because he's at 2, he doesn't want to lose any life. He's going to
Getting a Chaos Orb.
destroy the Mishra's factory.
Just to shuffle my library because the top 2 cards of my library were really bad.
He wants to refresh it so for the Sylvan
To
Library.
thin out the deck. Because now I'm playing Wheel of Fortune.
Ooh. Down we just discard and we draw 7, right?
Yes.
Okay. Ooh, nice play.
I put all the tap lands in one place. Yeah, I discard Time Vault and Red Element Blast.
Yeah. So you saw the ones I had, the artifacts. I had a lot of lands,
Yeah.
and that could have been helpful though. And then 2 tones.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could have been helpful, but I'm not getting.
Soul Ring is tapped because of the recall at the beginning of the
So
turn.
draw 7, right?
Yes.
Yes.
1, 2,
Oh, yeah, he did
3,
do a
4,
recall.
5, 6, 7.
He's still. This all still the same turn.
Okay. Twiddling an extra turn.
Mm-hmm.
So he drew into it. He didn't have a twiddle in hand.
Playing a Mana Vault. Mox Ruby. And pass to myself.
Yep.
Then here, if he already has the fire ball,
Onto everything.
seems like
Look at
there's
the top
20
six.
mana now.
1, 2, 3.
Plus,
4,
he's drawing.
5, 6.
He's looking at the top
Hands
6. He drew
Cards
7.
back.
He drew 6. Well, I'm gonna put 2 back, but he's
Those
gonna.
2.
Yeah.
Playing a tropical island. Counting again.
Well, that should be
1,
enough.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15, 17, 23.
23. Yep.
Yeah. 20 damage to you, 2 mana floating.
17.
So
You can just double check they had,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Yeah.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and then 2 mana still left.
Okay. No, yeah, you got it.
Cool.
Ooh.
I'm sorry I played this so slow. It's
No,
because
no.
I had one game on stream that was really, really, really close, and I made one minor mistake somewhere in the middle of the combo.
Yeah.
And that
Because
really.
you felt rushed. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
no. Yeah. No.
So that's what you were saying, like, like there's a lot of pressure on players that play slow decks to kind of like, rush. I definitely feel that pressure whenever I play the deck. So yeah, that's why I never did anything to kind of like make him feel rushed or anything. No, take your time, because I don't want to win by him making a mistake because I made him feel rushed, right? So that's not fair. There's decks in old school that are fast, right? But my second game I beat him in less than 5 minutes, right? So right, but then there's also super slow ones as well, right? So it's this is what you sign up for, right? At least that's what I feel. So all right, so that's he won that third one, but as you can see, right, like it's he if he didn't draw certain things, he may have not been able to finish that last game, right? So it's there's a lot of drawing, definitely, but it he was close to fizzling out there, right? So that's why I tend to like just stick it out, because it's already happened to me where I've won a game because the TwiddleVault opponent fizzles out, and that's just from luck, right? That's not from me doing anything in particular. But yeah, learned some lessons here, and then after the match, we stayed talking for a bit, close to an hour after that, right? So Phil's a pretty nice guy. So he was telling me actually how to beat his deck next time. So I told him that I changed my deck into a control type of deck on the third game, and then he told me no, that would have been the worst thing, because the best thing is to have early pressure, like first turn Savannah Alliance is, he says that's the worst thing that I could do, because he has that's before he has enough for a counter spell, right? Surrender to be freed. He probably may have 2 mana by then, right? So he can counter spell something. So or if I go first, so in Alliance, no matter what he does on his first turn, even if he pops off, he still there's still a creature there that he can't deal with, right? Because I made the mistake of thinking that he's gonna put in Swords to Plowshares or Wrath of Gods, right? So that's why I toned down the creatures and put in more control. But that's really not how the deck functions, right? So I've learned that now. I guess it depends on the player, but in general, I haven't seen much either like lightning bolts or like direct damage stuff. They go all in on their combo. So the best way to win is to disrupt the combo, disenchant things. Also, I see discarding will work a lot, right? So hopefully they discard the thing that they need before they cast it, because they have to cast a lot of things usually. Or probably the best method, which is what he said, just be aggressive with creatures, and then win by turn 3 or turn 4, and then because he doesn't interact with the creatures at all. He has no Maces of Ifs, no. I guess the best thing that he could do is twiddle a creature. That's if he's desperate, but that's the most that he basically does. Like his whole deck is just him setting up his combo, right? So now, me knowing this now, then I would have kept the deck with all the creatures. I may have maybe sideboarded out certain things just so I can get some counter spells in, but without having sacrificed the creatures. And I think in the third game, I still had the Abyss in there, maybe, right? Because I usually have the Abyss because the deck traditionally has either Moats or the Abyss or both. So I have 2 the Abyss cards, thinking that he might sideboard in Sarah Angels, right? So it's been known to happen, but really not, now that I think about it, not so much with TwiddleVault. So that was also another mistake. Usually the deck is a control deck that can sideboard in Sarah Angels or even have them in main deck. especially if they use smoked. So definitely appreciate the talk I had with him afterwards, and then we talked about magic card altering, which you guys have seen watching that video. He had a lot of cards that were altered, right? Has art on top of it, and he's done all of those himself, right? So I was gonna wait for the spoiler, but that's gonna be a future video that I'm gonna do. I'll talk about that, and then actually see if I can alter my own card as I'm recording the video, right? So I already have actually the markers that he recommended, but the camera that my overhead camera here is not going to capture, you know, the nuances of art. So I have to kind of hold back on it until I get a better camera, or if I can fix the one that I had before, which had a decent enough quality. But so I'm still trying to get around that, see what I can, you know, may I have something around the house here that I can use instead, right? But that's the reason why I'm kind of holding off on that particular video. I got because of equipment issues. But this is the video for today. So he won 2, I won 1. The only one I won was when I was being super aggressive. So lesson learned, and anybody's watching, you go against TwiddleVault, that's what you do. If you can be even more aggressive than you were in the previous games, and they usually will not have any creatures, so sideboard anything that has anti-creature. Maybe Herkosuko would have been a nice one against him. So those are good cards to sideboard against them, but they have very little interaction with creatures, right? So you just have to overwhelm them. That's the main way to beat this type of deck. All right, thank you guys for watching.